Hello and welcome to Talkin Jake. Today is August 20th. I just found out. Wow. We're almost there, people. It's almost Labor Day. It's almost September. I'm going to go through some big second half so far. I think it's easy to get caught up in, a couple guys or maybe the guys on your team going nuts. There's a couple names around the league that I think are becoming consistent second half players, which need to note that. Along with, there was a lot of names that just jumped off the list for me. And going along with the theme of how long the baseball season is, A, we see guys have massive second halves every year. And B, it's part of my formula I wish I was smart enough how to make. But just the recipe of, who's playing good when. If you're facing the Athletics and Jacob Lopez right now, you're probably having a bad time. Does that reflect who the Athletics are? Enough Jacob Lopez. No, you'll hear more about him later. He's good. Turns out. Is he a Jake? We find out later. I want to start off with a quick thank you to everyone. Expansion episode banged. The people were ready for it. BBD producing, Joe's McFly's energy, and just a really fun topic that I am also passionate about. We talked about a little bit of on Talkin Baseball today. I don't normally plug that, and there's not a need to. Trevor cooked about 30 minutes of Trevor Plouffe's full West Coast, East Coast plan, playoff format, and he named the two teams, which was a real treat.
I always like when he gets in the naming game.
That was a real treat. Even the owners, he gave two owners for each team. So Trev really cooked, and I got to operate around it. Thank you guys for, again, last episode banging. I guess we'll get some general ball talk in there, too. I guess on a personal level, couple things. Massive Yankees-Red Sox series this weekend. Excited and nervous. The Yankees have done what they've needed to do to get Yankee fans back on the hook. If the Red Sox beat them, 4-game set. So think of the results here. 4-game sweep by Boston. One of our most watched Talkin Yanks episodes ever is coming up, and we hate the team. Yankees lose 3 out of 4. A popular Talkin Yanks episode. The season's not dead, but it kind of is. Yanks split 2 out of 4. Not excitement, a lot of schedule talk, because the Yankees, after the Red Sox series, they have the White Sox and the Nationals. The Yankees, who are currently one of the hotter teams in baseball again, if they do well against Boston, they have the two worst teams, or two of the bottom 4 teams waiting for them. That September 1st, you could be having a very different Yankee narrative than they've had. If they win 3 out of 4, everyone's back in, and we probably overanalyze the loss. If they somehow win 4 out of 4, Yankee Mania will be back, because how far back will they be from the Blue Jays? Will they be 3 games back? They got a series with them coming up. Or if they flunk the dunk, get your pitchforks out. So get excited for that. On another personal level, you guys have seen through a couple of the years now that sometimes I'll comically shave a fake goatee because I don't really have facial hair. I did that the other day. Well, I've stopped just clean shaving. I've started just using one of the buzzers, the Manscaped.
Yeah.
Free ad. And yeah, that's so easy. And now I'm at the point where my little fake stubble actually kind of plays. So I left the goatee partially out of laziness, and partially because it made myself laugh. There was a bad moment though. Someone on the subway today, another bad goatee brethren, looked at me and gave a thumbs up. And I, again, in that moment, I wanted to be like, this is 85% a joke. And he's just rolling with it. So I don't know where I land on that. I'll let you guys figure it out. Let's see. Any other wide ball topics? Expansion in the draft is still so fun. There's some trade deadline stuff that maybe I'll hit a few of those guys throughout the way. I went digging through some stats earlier, and it's on Talkin Baseball at the end of the episode of guys who got traded who are doing well and bad, because I think that's just an interesting note. I guess the wide version, all the guys the Cubs traded for, not good. And it's been during their worst stretch of the season. So you think about someone who's come over and maybe helped your team or not. Just an interesting thing to think about the path of the baseball season. And another Cubs thing that I didn't think I was going to mention right now. Did you know, I think they're 9 games back? Let me double check the standings.
They're big back.
They're big back. They are 9 games back of the Brewers. And I don't know if you're a Cubs hater or you're a scared Cubs fan or you're a National League person. They are 5 games up on the Reds. Just of note, if things start getting more wobbly for the Cubbies, I think they have 1 series left with the Reds in mid to late September. If you are a Cubs fan, if you're the Cubs, you need to make sure that series does not matter. Because if it does, that's a hungry team with Terry Francona with really good pitching that has been looking for any sort of postseason anything. That if there's any blood in the water, Chicago's got to figure it out soon. I think they will. Kyle Tucker's been bad, which, like, he's never done that. So I think they're going to be okay. I think PCA's turned the corner a little bit. And on this list, and I guess I'm starting with pitching, they've had a breakout player of the second half, maybe the breakout player of the second half, which I guess you could put in a good bucket and a bad bucket. Did you know, since the All-Star break, and that's where a lot of these stats are going to be from, except when I get to Miguel Andujar, because homie's hitting again. I feel vindicated. Mm-hmm. And that's pitching. In Chicago, Cade Horton, here's a who. Since the All-Star break, 31 innings pitched. That's 6 starts, which the innings do matter there. He hasn't been going as long as some of these other guys. But the low man on the ERA board is Cade Horton, a 0.58 ERA in 31 innings. He has been balling out. I used to get him and Ben Brown confused. Ben Brown with more hair. I guess that's how we can separate those guys. He's got a nice profile picture with a nice goatee. So the goatee boys are rolling. And, again, if the Chicago Cubbies continue their postseason run, let's play. I just typed in Chicago Cubbies, and the results got worse. Because they should. I'm mad at myself a little bit. Who would be the Cubs' playoff rotation right now? Because they're not winning their division, so they will not be a top 2 team. So if you're the Cubs and you're going into a 3-game playoff, which, again, a very different storyline than we were talking 2 months ago before the Brewers became the best team to ever play. If you're the Cubbies, Matthew Boyd, Imanaga.
Probably
Imanaga. He's a proven dog. Matthew Boyd has been awesome. He has, I don't want to say he's slipped up. He has a 3.47 since the break, so I'm not going to say that. I just think if you're a Cubs fan, Imanaga is kind of the guy you want to. That's the guy you go down
You
with.
start there. And
because then your options are Matthew Boyd, who, again, has been great this year, veteran, pitched in the postseason last year. You're there. After that, Tyone, Colin Ray has actually been pretty good. And Cade Horton has been incredible. So if Cade Horton, the 24-year-old first-round pick, continues to keep rolling like this to the postseason, that is a very impact piece for the Cubbies. So let's see what happens the rest of the way with that guy. I mentioned Jacob Lopez on the way through. 35 innings, a 1.8. If you're buying athletic stock for next year, I have some updates for you on the offensive side, too, that you might kind of know. I didn't know how crazy it was. No, Gavin. Gavin Williams has been good. Don't super care Cleveland. Although Kansas City and Cleveland are somehow back in the mix again. I don't know how it happened. Out of the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Mariners, someone keeps screwing up that has kept those teams alive. Royals with a little bit of a win streak. A lot of the names on paper for Kansas City are similar to last year. There's obviously new ones. And Mike Yastrzemski has been hitting for them a little bit. And they got nothing from their outfield. So that's one of those effects that a front office, we can measure statistically. Mike Yastrzemski having a 9 OPS with the Royals is good. Going from getting nothing from your outfield to getting Mike Yastrzemski, I think Kansas City feels that. 5-game win streak, sneaking up. I mean, potentially with an easy chance to gain on either New York or Boston this weekend.
Yeah.
Something to watch. Kansas City could be back in the mix.
So one of you sweep.
Last year's Tigers. Oh, my God. If someone gets swept, oh, no. Okay. I'm not going to think about it. Hunter Brown is back. Had a little hiccup in his season, it felt like. But 6 starts to a 2-1-2. Michael Wacha for Kansas City, part of their success going forward. Evaldi has been good all year. Your innings leader since the All-Star break, Christopher Sanchez, that long-legged MFer, to the tune of a 2.36. And again, if we're eyeing things for the postseason, if the Phillies don't get a Zach Wheeler update, I think Sanchez is their game 1 starter, which he was like the 4th guy for a while, or it felt like that.
He felt like a bonus piece.
Luzardo, playoff Ranger Suarez, never bet against it. Aaron Nola has not been good. So in Phillies land, are they going to be rolling a 3 lefties? Is it going to be Sanchez, Luzardo, Suarez? As we're starting to get to September, these are interesting things. Then you're looking at the matchup. You're looking at teams that are good versus lefties. Do you have a platoon guy? We're almost there, people. You can tell I'm getting a little jazzy. And I've just got a shooting pain in my neck. I don't know what that is. Am I just sitting differently? Did I sleep bad? Have I been playing cricket recently? I think all of those are true. Let's see. Pitching-wise, I've got a couple updates. I was going to call it the Great South, but it's not South. The Great Mid-Atlantic. The Baltimore Orioles. Remember when their problem was they didn't have anyone to pitch? Charlie Morton was so bad. Trevor Rogers. The trade piece they got. They gave up Stowers, looking bad. If Trevor Rogers continues to pitch like this, 6 starts, 41 innings pitched, a 1.32. Trevor Rogers, the second most innings out of the All-Star break to the tune of a 1.32. Baltimore has been winning baseball games. Playing better than the Yankees since June 1st. Over 500 since June 1st. They have a lot of games against the AL East in that last month that the Orioles are going to be a massive factor in the season. And I think the other thing that pairs with that, 3rd in innings pitched out of the All-Star break, it's Dean Kramer. Of course it is. So Baltimore, who's been looking for horses, who was looking for any pitching to start the year, they have had 2 of the top 3 innings eaters coming out of the All-Star break, and we all know by this point the ripple effect that has on the bullpen, that has on everyone. I wonder if Baltimore, they'd have to actually get hot. Baltimore is 58-67. I wonder if 500 would matter to them at all. They would have to have a really big month. But if they could end the season with a big month and end up 500, what does that mean? Could mean nothing. If you're a Baltimore fan, I would love to know your true thoughts on that. Do you care anymore? The season was lost. Would that save Hyde's job? Was he on the hot seat? I don't know. They'd have to get really hot. Right now they are 58-67. So, I mean, they'd have to get hot. It's not unattainable. But yeah, those were two of the pitchers that surprised me a little bit. Let's see. Sandy is back to pitching okay. 36 innings for a 4 ERA. I guess, again, he'll be one of the stories of the offseason if one team ends up in on him. And who else deserves to be highlighted? Oh, there was one team that stood out with a lot of names again. And I'm sorry I'm not shouting out Andrew Abbott because he's been great all year. Who's chasing Andrew Abbott? Tarek Skubal just crossed 200 Ks. He's Tarek Skubal. You know that. I've got 3 guys. 1, 2. Where did I have them on the list? Okay, bad reveal by me. The Toronto Blue Jays. Okay. The Toronto Blue Jays have 3 pitchers throwing pretty well. Kevin Gausman, who you may be familiar with, but I feel like he's had some up and down periods the past couple years. Kevin Gausman's last 38 innings coming out of the All-Star break, 2.61. Max Scherzer, are you familiar with him? 37 innings to a 2.92. Who's Baltimore going to give the ball to? If Max Scherzer's pitching well, are you going to see Max Scherzer pitching in big playoff games? 100%. That's pretty crazy. We didn't know if we'd say that. We didn't know if it would be on Toronto. And their big 3 coming out of the All-Star break, Eric Lauer. Eric Lauer in 33 innings has a 2.73 ERA. So I saw those 3 Toronto names. That jumped out to me. I should have mentioned with Baltimore, Sagano has been pitching really well too. It's one of the keys. If you're gonna put win streaks together or you're gonna play good baseball, you need some sort of baseline of good pitching. Is there anyone else that really deserves a shout out? I don't know. Brandon Woodruff's really good. We try to say that whenever we can. If you have Milwaukee stock, push the Brandon Woodruff angle. I think that's the pitchers I care about. Let's get over to some hitters. My hitter. And it's all brought to you by Brunt, because that's what they do, the brunt of the work. Today's episode is brought to you by Brunt Workwear. Choosing work boots used to mean sacrificing comfort or durability. If they felt good, they didn't last. And if they lasted, they wrecked your feet. Brunt Workwear finally ended the trade-off, designing boots that will withstand the toughest job sites while feeling as comfortable as your favorite sneakers. These might be the most comfortable work boots on the planet. Okay. Right out of the box. We've got a couple pairs in the office. They've become like office shoes. There are workplace shoes, okay? Sorry we ended up in a different line. They are comfy. They feel like slippers. Brunt. Take the brunt of that. Brunt was tired of your workwear brands out there cutting corners. You work too hard to be stuck in an uncomfortable boots that don't hold up, so they built something better. Boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site, like we said. For a limited time, our listeners get $10 off at Brunt when you use code BAKERS at checkout. So head over to bruntworkwear.com, code BAKERS, and you're good to go. And after you order, they'll ask where you heard about Brunt. Do us a favor. Tell them it was from us. Go get yourself a pair of boots. It's almost boot season.
It was this show.
It's almost boot season, people.
Thanks, Brunt.
Thank you, Brunt. $10? Sure. Let's get into some hitters. And I teased it appropriately with Jacob Lopez at the top of the show. Fangraphs has just an offense stat that combines batting and base running averages. So they're just lumping together numbers. I don't fully know how we're getting there on every one of them, but they land you in a place to interpret what the numbers mean. Is it war? Not really, but it kind of is. The 2 top hitters by Fangraphs offensive stat come from the Athletics. Number 1 is Kurtz, Nick. At this point of the season, I'd like to think you've heard of the comma, Big Amish, Nick Kurtz. He has been crushing it to a degree all season. He had the 4-homer, 6-hit game that kind of really put him on the map in the baseball world. He was on the prospect map. He was the guy that when this season started, all the prospect people were like, he was the first guy that needed to get called up. Everyone was like, if he wasn't on the Athletics, there's a good chance he would have broke opening day with the Red Sox. Or
if he's in an org that was like going for it this year, they'd get him in there.
He was the first guy that like, yeah, he's getting called up. He got called up. It took a second to click. Here are his second half stats. Listen to some of these numbers. 27 games, 8 home runs, and you say, that's fine. That's good. His teammate kind of dunks on him in a second. 426 batting average. That's good. That's really good.
Hello.
Yeah. 426 batting average. 525 on base.
Good.
Very good. Elite. 822 slugging.
Ooh.
He even gets 0.1 base running points. So he has easily been the best offensive player since the All-Star break. And his now year on the whole, 4B WAR, if you're into that kind of thing, 306 batting average, 390 on base. He's one dotting. 1.025, 84 games. So by the end of the year, he's going to land at what? 110-ish? If he has those numbers, I think he's running away with the Rookie of the Year, a guy that was off the map for a little bit. And he, I think at the end of this season, is going to have an argument for one of the best hitters in baseball. I know it gets scary with young players, but when you have the pedigree, when you perform like this, because not a lot of people perform like this. Nobody does.
This is an extended run of very, very good baseball.
And I mean, sometimes with the younger players, we look for the outliers. Like when Jacob Wilson, his teammate, was getting started, you're like, okay, this can't keep up. Like the contact, the strikeouts, the walks, this can't keep up. Kurtz, it just looks like a really good baseball page. He's drawing walks. His on-base percentage is 84 points higher than his batting average. He's slugging a lot. And even if you took out the 4-homer game, which is unfair, like his stats would still be phenomenal. So it's not like he's just getting boosted by a singular performance. He's having a fantastic year. It's going to be very interesting. Where does he land on like best first baseman next year?
Huh. Be an interesting tier list.
Would you rather have Kurtz or Goldschmidt? Kurtz. Would you rather have Kurtz or probably still Matt Olson? I mean, It gets interesting.
Probably Kurtz.
It gets really interesting. I mean, Matt Olson's super stable. If this guy finishes like this, interested to find out. His teammate, rated second offensively by Fangraphs. The catcher, Shea Bangeliers. He came out of the All-Star break and he was hitting a lot of homers. And I was like, okay, Langeliers got hot. He's a good baseball player. You look at his baseball reference and it's like, okay, he got a little better each year. The homers are going up. This year, I think he was a little disappointing in the first half with how Kurtz was playing. Rooker, Soderstrom went nuts to start the year. There wasn't a lot of Langeliers. I always say it wrong, and I'm sorry. I really am. Kyle Schwarber, or you know what? Let me read a few names, if that's okay with you guys.
Read some names.
Top 5 in homers coming out of the All-Star break. At number 5, it's Bryce Harper. Absolutely. We've been looking for a couple Phillies to step up a little bit. And Bryce Harper has kind of been that guy, at least homer-wise. The OBP's a little low, When he hits them, there's going. He has 11. Tied for third, it's Junior Caminero, the young breakout sensation for Tampa who's going to hit 40 this year. Okay. Some big splits on Caminero this year, which is very interesting with the Yankees coming off a 9-homer game. But his home runs are balanced. So you can knock Steinbrenner Field if you'd like. You can't knock the homers, technically, because that's been split, if that makes any sense. Junior Caminero is tied with Shohei Ohtani. That makes sense. He hits a lot of home runs. Shohei's going to hit 50 again, right?
Seems like he hit, 40-something last night?
Crazy. Number 2, Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber, MVP Schwarb discussions this season. He has been awesome. Start to finish, farm to table. He has 14 homers, which traditionally would have him in first place. But Shea Langoliers has 15. The catcher, is he coming for Cal Raleigh? No. 14 homers, an .802 slug, a 1.189 OPS. He has 26 homers on the season. Again, another former first-round pick. His full rookie season, he had 22. The next year, last year, he had 29. Right now, he's at 26. And 15 of those have come since the All-Star break. So it's looking like he's outpacing last year. And as far as catcher power options go, Cal Raleigh has thrown things off. But Langoliers is going to be up there, and he's kind of entering his prime. He turns 28 in November. He's from Portland, Oregon. Will he be on the next Portland team? I don't know. Man. So that was your athletics talk that everyone was excited for. And that gave you the top 5 in homers, which left out, look at this shit. Almost just broke my laptop. Tied for 6th in home runs. The Devil's threesome, I'll call them. Julio Rodriguez. Second half, Julio is here. He's hitting baseballs very hard to the tune of a 574 slugging. The rest of the slash line, not super. 279 batting average, a 311 on base. Numbers that don't reek of being hot. Power.
You don't brag, but
the power is special. And second half, Julio feels like a thing. Mariners, go win your division.
Because you can.
Be careful in the wild card. If Kansas City gets in the mix, like, don't get me wrong, I have Yankee fears. There's Red Sox fears out there. Don't get in the wild card mix. In the last week of the season, don't do that.
Do what you can to avoid that.
Tied with 10 homers. This is just a Homa show. Michael Harris, too. Has to be exciting and frustrating for Braves fans. Michael Harris, too, who is one of the most disappointing offensive players of the first half of this season, he's gone Looney Tunes. 398, 413 on base, so he is just swinging. But a 732 slug for a 1.144 OPS while playing the outfield he potentially plays. Potentially plays? What's that about? In the first half of this year, he had a 551 OPS.
It's crazy.
If you're a Braves fan, man, I would have such mixed emotions, because what do you do with that? Our season's over. This is way too late, dude. We needed help so much earlier in the year. And I think the other thing that Braves fans have to be frustrated about, he did this last year. He had a 653 OPS in the first half and 823 in the second half. So, okay, if you're going to be a first half, second half guy, baseball has that, and it just is what it is with the sport. Who knows?
There's slow starters in this league.
Your first half can't be that, dude. And, like, when we do tier lists next year, what am I supposed to do with you? Because, okay, your numbers might land in an okay spot, but for the majority of the season, you were a negative. Like one of the worst hitters in baseball. So I don't know. Maybe it should just be excitement that you know he has this in his bat, and Michael Harris shouldn't just be a second half player.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's still in there, which is good. And he signed one of those Braves extensions, so it is good. It is good. But
like on the career level for him, it's such a drastic split. 'Cause this is what at least the third year we've seen him do this. For his career, it's a 662 first half OPS and 275 games, over 1,000 plate appearances. And in 210 second half games in his career, 906 OPS. It's just what he does.
I mean, those are just two very different players. That's weird. It's weird to, like, incorporate that as part of your team. The third one that I mentioned, so you got the two star center fielders to different degrees. Julio, superstar, sure. Cal. Mark it down for next year. Colson Montgomery for the Chicago White Sox. Big-time shortstop prospect. Finally got the call, and he's been playing very solid. The batting average and on base are low. When he's running into him, he's running into him. They look like rookie numbers, and you should be a little worried. You need that batting average and on base to come up. But the power looks legit, and a couple of his home runs he hit to areas of the ballpark that baseballs don't normally go to. So the Colson Montgomery power seems real, and he is going to have a hype train for next year. It's just how far does it go? How far does it go for Colson Montgomery and the White Sox? Don't say I didn't tell you. Don't tell people that. Let's see. Who else needs a shout? Let's start sorting by offense again. Vladdy's going nuts. Maybe you knew, maybe you didn't. Another guy who might be labeled as a second half guy. I think he left with a hamstring thing the other day. Do we have an update on that? Is he okay?
I know I saw considered day to day, so not on the IL yet. But I don't think he played. I don't think he played yesterday.
So let's see what happens there. Perdomo is back. I did a whole episode on Perdomo earlier this year. The shortstop for the Diamondbacks, who there's been some weird, funny business going on with Ketel Marte. You can click around on it. I asked Dalton, our resident actual Diamondbacks fan. He said it smells funnier than even what's going on. I'm going to let it ride, and it might be a fun topic this offseason, because if Ketel Marte is available, go check where he is on the leaderboards this year. Just like one of the best in baseball. Hard stop. You don't even have to name second base. Even though if you do, he looks different. He looks different. Perdomo, an 829 OPS on the year, a 388 on base. I love that. 21 swipes, 13 homers, a 4.6 B-WAR. Again, we talked about him earlier in the year. Might be one of the more underrated players in the league at this point if he is this guy. I mean, he's heading towards a 5.5, 6 WAR season. That contract is looking really good by the Diamondbacks. Who else needs a shout? Oh, maybe the guy I prepared this whole thing on. Ramon Laureano. With 2 teams since the trade deadline. The stats are good. 313 batting average, 374, a 598 slugging. You're like, that's good. I just found out today my new favorite way to search on Fangraphs is just using dates. It's super easy. Because sometimes I try to find a... Beebs, maybe you have a better way for this, and maybe this will help the people. I like looking up guys like last 162, even if that's different seasons.
Like literally last calendar year. This is a great time of year to do that game.
Great time of year to do that game. And I've kind of struggled with that. Anyways, Ramon Laureano.
Fangraphs is where I've had the easiest time
do
doing like a quick
games or dates. Or?
Like I'll go and I'll show the people. I think.
Oh, look at this little live tutorial.
Should be here like on Fangraphs. Currently, as I'm following along our conversation, this is last year. I would probably just throw a 2024 on there update.
Just see where they start to land.
And this is roughly last year's All-Star break, give or take.
Well,
and then you get some last 65-ish.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's similar to what I did, but I gave the people fake stats for a couple years because I just needed the actual stats. Ramon Laureano. Last year he got traded to the Braves and he played really well. Ramon Laureano this year played really well, got traded to the Padres. With the Padres, Ramon Laureano has played really well. He got traded. He had his debut with the Braves on 6/15/24 last year. Since then, he has been one of the best hitters in baseball. Let me get the plate appearances right. I think if you do 500. Laser Ramon, he's known for his defense. Remember all the highlights he used to have in Oakland, and they had that big fight with Houston? That was a crazy one. Laureano is 12th in slugging since he got traded to the Braves, 6/15 last year. I mean, the names ahead of him, Raleigh, Carroll, Witt, Suarez, Schwarber, Guerrero, Marte, Buxton, Ohtani, Judge. Batting average, which I know, I'm in an interesting spot on. Ramon Laureano is 9th in batting average. Like what? 295. Tied with a rise ahead of Machado.
The numbers I have on screen right now are different just because I updated it to 1 year ago to today.
Sure.
So
I like that.
in case people at home are wondering discrepancy in numbers you're reading versus what I just showed.
Well, I like your numbers even better because this has all been building up to look at Miguel Andujar. Miguel Andujar has been hitting 306 over the last calendar year. I always knew he could hit. He just got hurt, and then he didn't really get opportunity. That I was really happy to see Andujar on that list. And I was really happy to see Laureano on both lists because that dude is playing really well. And sometimes there's trade deadline pieces like Laureano that you're like, oh, yeah, we're hoping he gets hot and maybe he doesn't. He's been good for a year. And he's a baseball player that's had a nice career. He's had injuries. He's had different teams and stuff that I like Ramon Laureano. I don't know if he's this level of hitter, but he has been for a year. That's kind of the whole point of this.
I think shouting out one of our friends, this is a video he did 5 years ago, but kind of similar exercise. Bailey did a video on Joey Votto. Second half of 1 year, first half the next. You get a full 162. He hit 400 over that.
Right. That's crazy.
Ever since, I can't believe that video is 5 years old, first of all. Second of all, ever since then, I've always liked to think about it.
Bailey. You're always thinking about Bailey.
Far too much.
Other hitters that deserve love, if you want to start buying Profar stock for next year, he's getting on base at a really high level. Isaac Collins, we always talk about because he's killing it. Stolen bases, does anything stand out? Your top 2 stolen base people are Josh Naylor and Jazz Chisholm. Let's see those 2 bodies side by side. It's a beautiful sport for a reason. Luis Robert stealing bases and hitting a little bit. Okay. They're going to pick up that team option. Tied for second in steals since the All-Star break. It's your boy Juan Soto. Crazy. What a crazy sport. Obviously, a lot of different people could have got shot out for different reasons. Those are the people that stood out the most to me. Let me know who on your team. I'm sorry I left them off. How could I? they've been playing so good. A Rosarena. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Big Wake and Jake week. You guys are the best. Make sure you're subscribed, share with a friend, all the good stuff. And it's probably going to be at least a little Yankee heavy to start on Monday. And we'll see where we land. So thank you guys.